unless they both, first round.
Why not?
Just first round?
Imagine.
Just point down? Ilya's got the advantage in that. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and on today's episode, I am joined by Elijah and Matt, and we are predicting UFC 308, and we are going to give a little review of Hernandez versus Pereira from last week. We're going to start off with the review of Hernandez versus Pereira, and then we're going to move into the predictions. So if all you care about is the predictions, skip to this time right here. And if not, we're going to get into it right now. So you and I predicted last week, and you ended up winning the chain back from me, sadly.
Yes.
The whole card was pretty good in general, honestly. The fight of the night was the opening fight of the main card, Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. And Darren Elkins lived up to his name of the damage. They were bleeding on each other. And I thought that Darren Elkins was going to be the one to retire. Daniel Pineda is the one who ended up retiring. But, I mean, looking at his record, 28-17 with 3 no contests, he was at that point. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was a great fight to go out on. It was a close fight. They were going back and forth. It was a war. But we both had Pineda in that, so it didn't really matter. The next fight we predicted, but there was a dropout, so we just cut that one. Cameron Smotherman ended up beating Jake Hadley, and he looked really good doing it. I think this guy can do some work. He's 12-4, not the greatest record but I don't know, man. He looked good, so I think he could do something in the division at least. Bantamweight, so.
I mean, if your last name's Smotherman, you better be good.
That's a pretty cool name, Smotherman. He didn't do much of that. It was a lot of striking from the outside, but
all right.
Charles Johnson, he ended up beating Sumadarchi. That gave you your first win of the night. It was a good fight. I mean, it was a back and forth. It was a decision. Sumadarchi was doing a lot of work, but Charles Johnson was landing the bigger punches. And I mean, as I've said all the time to you, when you land the bigger punches, you win the fight. It doesn't matter how many you hit them with. It matters what it does when you hit them.
To contribute to the end of the fight.
So Charles Johnson won the decision. It was a good fight. He's on like a 4-fight win streak this year, and he wants one more this year. Yeah.
For this year?
For this year.
Dog.
So, I mean, top 15 next fight, most likely by the end of the year. He put on a good performance. Rob Font ended up picking the win over Kyler Phillips. That gave me my first win. I picked Rob Font. You picked Kyler. It was a good performance. Rob Font showed why he is the what's it called? The person you got to get through to get to the top.
Yeah. Gatekeeper.
I don't know why I forgot that, but yeah, Rob Font is the gatekeeper, and he showed why he is going to continue that role as gatekeeper. By the way, Kyler Phillips went out there and tried to take down Rob Font multiple times, like just kept on doing it. And Rob Font kept on getting back up, kept on fighting. That's what I need to see out of Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
Something like what Rob Font was able to do against Kyler. I need to see Alex Pereira do something like that. And now a lot of people are going to say he did that against Jan. It was different. It was a different fight. This fight showed a level that Rob Font is at compared to someone like Kyler who tried to wrestle him. Alex Pereira, the only reason why he didn't get taken down in the third is because he got tired. And then he did get taken down in the third. This was a completely different fight. I want to see something like this out of Alex Pereira. Rob Font, good win against the guy experienced who has been on the up and up. Now, opposite end, Alexander Hernandez against Michel Pereira. Alexander Hernandez would do that exact same thing to Alex Pereira. Now that I said that, getting it out of the way, that's all I'm going to say about Alex Pereira on this episode. A lot of people didn't like our last episode about me talking about Alex Pereira. So that's all I'm going to say. If Anthony Hernandez fought Alex Pereira, the fight would go similar to what just happened. It was a TKO in the 5th round. And, man, Hernandez, he was the smotherman of the night. He was smothering Michel Pereira throughout the cage. Michel Pereira had nothing for him. I thought he was going to land a big strike, but this is the fight that he picked correctly, which won him the belt. Michel Pereira just didn't look like he had any answer for the grappling of Anthony Hernandez. And then as the grappling of Anthony Hernandez got better, are you pointing at him or me? Okay, it's pointing at me. So the more that Anthony Hernandez grappled him and kind of wore on him on the ground, the more he was doing effective work on the feet too. Landing back elbows, landing jabs, landing right hands. On the feet, he was looking just as good as on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's what effective grappling can do to someone. This isn't stuff that we see out of Merab or Bilal, and that's why I don't really like those guys, is because they don't do stuff like this. Anthony Hernandez went out there and actually tried to get Michel Pereira out of there every single round. Every round he tried to finish him. And he got it done in the 5th round. Michel Pereira was a tough opponent. But, I mean, it could have been over in the 4th. There were moments in the 4th where it could have been over. They could have been over in the 3rd. There were moments. So, if Bilal and Merab can do stuff like that, maybe they change my mind. But right now, they don't do stuff like that. But Anthony Hernandez does. He's a very entertaining grappler. Yeah. Like, for grappling standards, very entertaining. For overall, it wasn't like the greatest thing I've ever seen. But for a grappler, it was miles above what we've been seeing lately from grapplers.
Yeah.
Other than that, there wasn't much to go. Like, the prelims were great. There were some flyweight fights that were entertaining. Other than that, I think we should just move on now to predicting UFC 308, where my 2 favorite fighters in the world are going to be fighting each other in the main event.
Oh, man.
Max Holloway, my favorite fighter. Ilya Topuria, second favorite fighter. They get to fight each other. I know who I want to win. I know who I think is going to win. I just don't want the fight to happen, though. Like, I don't want either of these guys to lose. Can it go to draw? Like, I'd be fine with a draw. But we're going to be going down the list, predicting the entire card. We're going to go from top to bottom on the prelims and on the main card. And I'm mad looking at the first fight. Ruzaboya versus Fakardimov fell out, so Fakardimov now has a new opponent. That would have been a really cool fight to watch. But I think we can get started right now, starting at the bottom. Fakardimov versus Carlos Liel. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Fakardimov is 22-1-1. Liel is 21-5, and he doesn't have a picture on here, so I have no clue who this guy is. So Liel versus Fakardimov, or Renat Fakardimov. You could put RF. You could do initials. It doesn't
I'm not
matter.
Going to try and spell that.
Yeah.
Off rip.
All right. Or Carlos Liel. 3, or whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I have Fakardimov. Wow, he went with Carlos. He went,
oh, man.
With the newbie.
Deviated right away.
That's crazy already. He does that a lot.
He does.
that a lot.
I've noticed that every time.
All right.
He's got the chain, so.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's been proving himself lately. All right. Ismail Nuridov versus Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva is the guy that put on probably the best performance against Alex Pereira before, like, Izzy, and other than Izzy and Khalil, Bruno Silva is the guy that took Alex Pereira to the limits. But he also just lost to Chris Weidman in his last fight. So, I mean...
MMA math, man.
MMA math. But, yeah, so Ismail, 23-7. Bruno Silva, 23-11. Who do we have?
Locked in, man.
Locked in. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Same thing for me and Matt again. Bruno Silva for both of us. And he went, of course, the opposite. Ismail. All right. So far, you and I are tied up.
I'm not going to like
opposite.
it. We start off 0-2.
Yeah, man.
Wait, who were
He's
the
over
first
there.
two, so I keep track.
Those were Fakardimov and Ismail.
And then who was before them?
Oh, no. Oh, you had Carlos. And you had Ismail. We had Fakardimov and Bruno.
Okay.
All
I
right.
like Bruno big time in that fight for sure.
Yeah, man. Okay, next up, Farid Basharat, 12-0 versus Victor Hugo, 25-4. I've seen Victor Hugo fight before. I don't know much about him, but I know Farid Basharat's a pretty well-rounded guy, and 12-0. He's been doing some good work. Him and his brother both have been doing some good work in the UFC. So, all right, 3, 2, 1. I got Farid Basharat. You both have Victor Hugo. Okay. All right. So now we all have a split on the board. Like none of us are tied anymore.
Someone's always got to go.
Exactly. Next up, this is a really fun fight actually. Kennedy and Njokusapu. Njokusapu, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
It's a tongue twister of a card.
Versus Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett's the really big boy that does the spinning back heel kick and the front flip into the split.
My boy.
Yeah. Okay, so Kennedy and Juxtapu versus Chris Barnett.
Wait, what are their records?
Kennedy is 12-5. Barnett is 23-8.
You know, when I was looking at it earlier, I didn't realize Barnett had that much experience.
Yeah, he does.
That's,
He does. I mean,
good
most of it
fights.
was outside of the UFC. I actually knew
Yeah.
about him before he came to the UFC
Oh, yeah.
because he was in some random like viral clip from before the UFC.
Dog.
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1. I got Kennedy. You have Kennedy, and he has You got Chris Barnett.
I love that charisma. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, no, he is awesome. He wrestled Yoel Romero in like a charity wrestling event.
You all run one.
Yeah, but they were were having fun. They were scrambling a little bit, and then when Yoel wanted to, he took him down and he put a Kimura in. It was like a submission wrestling match, and he put him in a Kimura.
That is crazy.
And Barnett
What's
tapped.
the weight difference on that? I mean,
Like a good 100 pounds
Yeah.
probably at the time. Nah, probably a good like 50, 60 pounds maybe at the time of them wrestling.
yeah, Yoel's built like a brick house though.
Yeah,
so.
that's why I gave it a little. That's why I was like 100. Nah, Yoel's pretty
Yeah.
big. I was like,
It's
yeah,
closer
he's
than
pretty.
it looks
He's pretty
physically,
big.
yeah.
All right, next up we got Abus Magomedov or Magomedov. Yeah, Magomedov. Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira 12-1. Abus is 26-6-1. Man, this is one of the harder ones. There are a couple really hard ones on here. We all got our picks.
Oh, I'm locked in.
3, 2, 1. I got Bruno Ferreira. All right, you got Abus and you got Bruno.
Yeah.
All right. I'm definitely getting sick from the other night going in that pool.
Oh,
Yeah.
On the weekend, you got
Yeah.
dumped in there, yeah.
I'm definitely getting sick.
Shout out weddings.
Yeah, really. All right, next up, fun fight. Rebeski versus Orabai. I've seen this guy fight before. Still no clue how to pronounce his name. There's a lot of Y's in his name. But for him, it's M-O. He's 13-1, and then the other guy is M-R. Rebeski is 19-2. Rebeski just lost in his last fight, but he's been on like a hot streak lately. And I don't know much about M-O. I'm just gonna call him M-O.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him, but I have seen him fight before. He's 13-1-1. So either M-R or M-O. All right, 3, 2, 1. I got Rebeski. You both have M-O. All right,
Let's go.
man. This is getting interesting now.
It really is. There's a lot of different picks going on between us three.
All right, next up we've got Jeff Neal versus Rafael Dos Anjos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. This is a good one.
How am I going to miss this card? Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, this one's gonna be on at around like. This one will probably start at like around 1, so
Okay.
you're probably gonna miss it. But,
Definitely going to miss it.
But it starts at 10 a.m. like the prelims. So
Yeah. Could catch some of it.
Jeff Neal versus Rafael Dos Anjos. RDA is a former champ. Jeff Neal has got some good wins in the division. They're fighting at welterweight. Man, yeah, I'm going with it. All right,
Almost locked in.
take your time, man.
All right,
We
I'm
got all
ready.
night. 3, 2, 1. Jeff Neal by KO. He has Jeff Neal by KO. Okay,
Oh, wow, you
RDA.
could parlay it like that.
No, we don't usually do that. But I mean, if you want to call out how you think it's gonna happen. But yeah,
I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, Jeff Neal by KO. I'm thinking that too. Next up, no clue how to pronounce the name, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Ibo Asian. Ibo Asian. IBOASIAN. He's 13-1-0 versus Rafali Nah, not doing it.
This is
RC. He doesn't have a picture. He's 11-0, and the other guy's 13-1. I'm not reading this name. I'm sorry. Raphael. There you go. His first name's Raphael or Rafael or something. I don't know.
You're putting you
All
to
right.
work with these names though.
Yeah, really. This is like the most throw up. Like, who knows? 3, 2, 1. I got RC. Okay. I think that's the first time we all agreed on it.
It is. It is. I think.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Watch us all lose that. That's fine.
We all take a loss.
We all took a loss. Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. Moving up to the main card, we got Shara Bullet versus Armin Petrosyan. Shara Bullet is 14-1 or 14-0. He's the guy with the missing eye. And then Armin is 9-3. This is middleweight, by the way. All right, 3, 2, 1. I got Shara Bullet, Shara Bullet, Shara Bullet. All right.
By sub.
Ooh,
By
there you go.
sub, that's you should put some money on that.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't think that's gonna happen. That the payout to that's probably gonna be real big.
$5 to win. Like $250.
Yeah, really. Next up we got Lerone Murphy, 14-0-1 versus Danny Ige, 18-8. I don't know, man. This one is another one where I'm like, I don't know. It could go either
It's a
way.
coin toss, man.
Lerone Murphy. I'm going to turn that heater off. Give me a minute.
After Danny Ige just had that fight with Diego Lopez.
Yeah, that was a good fight. He really started cranking it up in that third round.
As an electrician, I can't co-sign that.
Listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
I understand that.
All right, so Lerone Murphy just beat Edson Barboza in his last fight, so we know that he's a really good striker. Dan Ige just got off of the couch on 8 hours' notice and almost beat the number 3 guy in the world. So this is definitely a close fight. It really comes down to skill versus power. I feel like Dan Ige is very skilled, but he's obviously the more power puncher. All right, Lerone Murphy, Dan Ige, 3, 2, 1. I got Murphy, Dan Ige over there. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
All right, well.
I like Murphy in that one.
Yeah, I like Murphy in that one, too. I like Murphy in general. I like Dan Ige, too, but Murphy, he looks so clean with his striking. He's like another Leon. He's the featherweight Leon Edwards with the way he moves. Like, his movements are very similar.
Danny Ige by KO.
All right, we'll
KO.
see. We'll see. I think Lerone Murphy by decision. That's what I'm going for. Lerone Murphy by decision. All right, next up, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Ratchik. Magomed Ankalaev, 19-1-1 and 1 no contest. Ratchik is 14-4. His last fight, he lost to Yuri Prohaska. Magomed Ankalaev's last fight, he beat Johnny Walker by KO. Man, he's 3-2-1. He's getting his title fight eventually. Yeah, Magomed Ankalaev for me and Matt. Alexander Ratchik over there.
Styles makes fights.
I know they do, but come on. Magomed Ankalaev needs to win this so he could get his title fight, so he could beat the shit out of Alex Pereira.
I'm telling you, Ratchik is going to change your minds. I'm telling you, he's going to put on a
He just
great
got
fight.
knocked out by Yuri.
Styles make fights.
He just got knocked out by Yuri, man. Come on.
I don't see him going down. Not at all.
All right. Next up, co-main event. We could start getting into these now. This is where it starts to get real juicy. Robert Whittaker versus Chimaev. Robert Whittaker coming off of a win against Ikram Alaskarov and a win over Paulo Costa. Before that, he took his loss to DDP and a couple losses to Izzy, but he's also beaten everyone else in the division. Chimaev, 13-0. I think his last fight was Kamaru Usman last year. He beat him. Close decision. It was up at middleweight. He was fighting a welterweight at middleweight and didn't wipe the floor with them. But
It's also Kamaru Usman.
Kamaru Usman's got way better wrestling than Whittaker, I would say.
Yeah.
Not to say Whittaker has bad wrestling. He fought
proven
Yoel
himself.
Romero and stuff, but
There's levels.
yeah, there's levels to the wrestling game. But there's also levels to the striking game. And if Chimaev stays on the feet for too long,
We've seen what Whittaker could do.
Whittaker could hit that 1-2 out of nowhere
Yeah.
and give you the stanky leg real quick.
I
So
don't know, man. We just can't doubt Chimaev. Like,
yeah, 3, 2, 1. Chimaev.
Yep.
sub in the third round.
I'd say sub in the first round. I think if anything, he gets him out of there in the first round. I think the longer the fight goes on, the more Whittaker is Like, the more possibly Whitaker can win, the longer the fight goes.
I could see it going either way. I think it's like 60-40 in my opinion towards Hamzat.
Like, I definitely think if Chimaev runs forward, gets the takedown in the first minute, he submits him by the end of the round. Mm-hmm. If he can't get that in the first round, I think that the fight gets harder and harder for him. Yeah. Like, second round, Whitaker starts to hit him with some jabs and some right hands, maybe that 1-2 head kick that he loves to do. Will he put him on his ass? I don't know. Chimaev has a chin. I've seen Chimaev's chin. He took that right hand from Gilbert Burns straight on the chin and didn't go down until the second hit came.
That was an awesome fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does gas out, though. Hamzat gasses out the later it goes on, for sure.
He does.
And Whitaker's got that experience. And, like, is this a 5-round fight? It's got to be, right?
I think it is. I think they announced it as a 5-round fight.
Yeah, so, like you said, the later the rounds, the later you get in there, Whitaker starts to sneak in there a little bit.
What about you, Elijah? You got any opinions on what's going to happen?
Nah, not that fight.
Not that fight? You don't want to talk about this one?
Not that fight.
All right. Well, then I guess we should just move up and give our predictions for my two favorite fighters in the entire goddamn world that just so happen to have to fight each other. Ilia Topuria defending his featherweight title against the former featherweight champion, the BMF champion, Max Blessed Holloway. It saddens me to write this on my board. 3, 2, 1, flip. Ilia Topuria.
El Matador.
Ilia Topuria.
KO.
Ilia Topuria.
Third round. BMF UFC champion coming soon.
That is painful.
He's going to get the job done. He's the younger fighter. He has the crispier boxing. He's going to walk Max down. Max is going to put up a fight. But you just can't doubt Ilia Topuria. He's just well-rounded. He's one of those guys. And this has the potential to be one of the greatest fights of the year. Maybe fight of the year, fighter of the year, knockout of the year.
So do we think that it's by knockout?
Yes.
If Ilia wins by knockout, I don't think
I don't want it to be. I don't
think he can. I don't think he can win a decision against Max. That's my thing.
Yeah, so there's only one way.
There's only one way.
And you put Topuria.
And I put Topuria.
So you think he's getting knocked out?
I think Max Holloway might get knocked out.
I really don't want him to.
I
can see it, though. I've had dreams about it. I don't want to see it.
Max Holloway's chin has never been cracked, and when he got dropped by Gaethje in the last fight, it was because he got hit on the temple, and then he bounced down and got right back up. So his chin has still never been cracked. Like, he's never been hit right here and gone unconscious before. If anyone's going to do it, I know we've said this about a million guys. I said this about Gaethje earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. But if anyone is going to do it, it's Ilia Topuria, man.
Topuria just proved that.
Exactly.
Putting my favorite fighter to bed.
Yeah. And
fuck you.
Man, I love Ilia Topuria. He's my second favorite fighter. He's been my second favorite fighter since I saw him bitch around Ryan Hall. When I saw him just knock down Ryan Hall, grab him and shuck him, just fucking throw him to the ground and just submit him like he was nothing.
Yeah.
At that moment, I was like, that's my second favorite fighter right there.
Yeah.
And then he put on the performance against Josh Emmett. Right after Josh Emmett came off of an interim title fight. Granted, he lost to someone who I think sucks in Yair Rodriguez.
Yair was almost the GOAT, man.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't almost anything. He's lost to every major guy. He was going to even lose to the Korean Zombie. Man, come on. Yair's not that good. He's not that good. He fought Josh Emmett. And Josh Emmett, granted, he's the one who survived the longest with Ilia Topuria. He survived 5 rounds with Ilia Topuria and went down. He got dropped, but he didn't get knocked out. Mm-hmm. No one else has really done that yet. Everyone else has been slept. So,
yeah,
including arguably the GOAT of the division, in Volk.
Yep.
Who I'm not a fan of, but I respect that you like him.
Yeah.
I can see why you like him.
Down under.
Exactly. He's a good guy. I was a Max Holloway fan.
So I mean,
which means
come on.
by proxy I had to hate Volk.
It's understandable. Steelers fan, I hate the Ravens.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you don't respect them.
So, but I just want to say, like, this is going to be a boxing masterclass. Like, this is going to be one of the best boxing matches we've ever seen for as long as it lasts, unless Max does the strategy what I think he's going to do and not try to box. I think that Max is going to throw a lot of those spinning back kicks we saw against Gaethje. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of, like, front kicks. I think we're going to see a lot of really long jabs, like, not in the pocket stuff where he's, like, trading in the pocket like we see him do a lot, throwing combos. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot more just jabbing from the outside, kind of like an Izzy strategy. Kind of like try and pick him apart from the outside. Will that work? Probably not. But I'm just saying, that's probably what he's going to try to do at least.
Yeah.
If you get pushed up against the cage against Topuria, you're done.
We've seen it multiple times.
Everyone he's fought, every knockdown he's gotten in the UFC has always come from the person's back being up against the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Jai Herbert, Damon Jackson, Volk, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell. Every single one. Ryan Hall. I mean, kind of. I mean, he did kind of like a weird.
He's got to work those leg kicks though. Max's high guard and then Ilya's. We know that he takes off rounds to study his opponents and really understand where the fakes are coming on. And we've seen that in the Volk fight. He really likes to take his reads. So we could see Max having a strong first round, maybe second round, and then he switches it up, third round, fourth round. Then we might have a dangerous fight on the fifth round.
I think once again, as the fight goes on, Max Holloway becomes more likely to win. I think it's in those early first 3 rounds where if Ilia Topuria is going to knock him out, it's going to be in those first 3.
Mm-hmm.
Same with like Khamzat in a way.
Yeah, exactly the same. Like if you can't put Max down by the 3rd round, then Max is just going to turn it up. Like there's no turning it down. Like he's just going to start going more and more.
And we do know that Topuria has been knocked down before, though. Herbert put him down.
And Max Holloway has been known for hitting head kicks on goats and knocking them down. He did that to Volk. Mm-hmm. He had a knockdown on Volk from a head kick. Yep. And now, granted, we could say that Volk is susceptible to head kicks, but maybe Ilya is too. Maybe Ilya is susceptible to head kicks too. It's the only strike that we've seen drop him so far. Mm-hmm. Maybe Max can slip up a head kick, hit him there, knock him down, but I mean, Jai Herbert was a lightweight doing that with a lot of bigger frame and a lot stronger legs, and he's more of a kicker than Max is, and he couldn't knock Ilya out with that kick.
Ilya got mad after that.
Exactly.
It looked like a completely different fight.
So unless Max can really load up a kick, like we're talking like maybe it puts him down on a knee and he gets right back up like it did with Volk. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if Max is gonna sleep Ilya. It's got
to be a decision win.
Yeah, I don't see any likelihood of Max actually putting Ilya to sleep.
I want to see.
Unless they both, first round.
Why not?
Just first round? Just point down? Ilya's got the advantage in that. I love Max's combos. Max has some clean combos, but I don't know if he's going to be able to actually land that punch before Ilya comes with his own. If they trade in the pocket, Ilya's putting Max to sleep. I don't think it's the smartest thing to be pointing at the ground in this fight.
Well, you're talking about in the beginning, or what if it was
at any point? Even the last 10.
Ilya's like gassed out though.
I think Ilya still would have enough gas in him to throw one last combo at full speed.
Yeah,
like I'm sure he can muster up enough energy to throw one full speed combo at the end.
Because the way Gaethje dropped was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was insane.
I mean, I'd love to see that in every Max Holloway fight, but like it gets riskier and riskier the more you do it, especially against someone like Ilya who's known for combos. Like, they're both known for combos, but Ilya is like, that's his whole thing.
He's putting people to bed.
He's putting people to bed with these combos. Yeah. Like, every single person that gets hit with that combo, other than Josh Emmett, gets put to bed.
How many knockouts does Holloway have?
A lot. I mean, he's got a good amount, but like most of them are like wearing on you and dropping you, and then like you just can't do anymore. Like Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo, like these are guys where he's not one punch KOing you. It's like you're just like done, and you get TK. He's got more TKOs than KOs, but his last 2 were KOs: Korean Zombie and Gaethje. Both KOs, so
maybe something's different in camp.
Maybe there's something in the water in Hawaii right now, because he seems to have only been getting better ever since showing his worst performance against Volk. Like, he showed his worst performance against Volk and then has gotten nothing but better since.
He charged him up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, these are my favorite 2 fighters. Why do they have to fight each other? Someone has to lose, and that's the part that I hate.
Will you be rooting for Topuria at all?
No, I'll be rooting for Holloway. I want Holloway to win. Like, I don't want... That's the thing. Holloway's already had his time. I want to see Ilia Topuria, like, achieve greatness and, like, fight Islam and go double champ and all that stuff. Like, I'd love to see it. But at the same time, if Max Holloway is in a title fight, I'm rooting for Max Holloway. It's a hard one for me because I do think Max has had his time and Ilya deserves his time. But whoever's the better man in the cage that night, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Whoever was the better man, I'm going to accept the outcome and be like, okay, that was cool.
Yep.
But if Max wins, we're going to do a live reaction and you'll get our reactions. If Max wins, I'm probably going to go nuts. I'm probably going to go absolutely insane if Max wins. If Ilya wins, I might go insane, and then I'll be like,
man, it'll set in a little bit.
It'll set in. There'll be like a little bit of that in my chest as soon as I see Max hit the ground. Like, I'll be like, oh my God. And then I'll be like,
man,
oh my God. Yeah, it'll be one of those.
Yeah.
Man.
What about you?
I don't know. I feel like this fight's just very important because now we get to break down. We get to see who's now the best boxer in the UFC. We finally get to have that conversation because, Max was claiming it for a while, and he did prove it. A lot of volume striking, a lot of good strikes, and, Ilya and his combinations and his knockout power, I just don't know what's coming.
We get to watch and find out.
Yeah.
This Saturday is going to either be one of the best card. This has potential to be the best card of the year.
It does.
It really does. Like, there's 300 was great, but like this card has the potential to be just as good. Mm-hmm. If it lives up to the hype, I hope people come watch our live reaction. It'll probably be posted on the channel either like Monday, Tuesday, around there. But I'd love to see your guys' reactions and leave it all in the comments. But I did have something that I wanted to say that I completely forgot what I wanted to say.
Alex Pereira is the GOAT. He is the UFC GOAT. Alex Pereira never disappoints. When you think about Alex Pereira is now a black belt.
That actually did help me.
Black
because
belt.
He said the name Alex, and I actually wanted to ask about Alex Volkanovski. Does Alex Volkanovski fight the winner no matter who it is? Like, if Max wins the belt, does Volk fight Max for the title for a fourth time?
I don't think so, but should he? That's the thing. Should he?
All right, so we lost the video recording for most of the rest of this podcast, so I'm just going to jump in right now. I think we were just talking about Alexander Volkanovski. We're going to continue to have the audio for the rest of the podcast. If you don't like the fact that there's no video added to it, I might have like pictures or whatever up on the screen. If you don't like the rest of the audio, then thank you for joining us for the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week. I swear there won't be technical difficulties. I just ran out of space on the phone. Haven't been deleting stuff. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Matt, for being here. We're just redoing this whole outro that you might hear if you continue watching, but lost the video for the rest of the podcast, but I appreciate you if you stick around for the rest of it. We do go into depth on a lot of stuff and talk, and it is a lot of fun to listen to. So, sorry about the no video, but if you just like the audio, then continue watching.
I don't think so, personally.
Or could Volk just move up to 205? Alex versus Alex.
No.
Come on, that's a good one.
No, his 205 days are long behind him. He left those in rugby.
I don't think so.
I think that, if Ilya Topuria wins, then I think Volk gets a rematch.
Okay.
I think that he gets thrown right in there. I think if Max wins, Volk versus Diego Lopez.
That would be cool. You want to see that.
Volk, I think, could move up to 155, fight Gaethje, Poirier, someone like that. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. But,
yeah, that'd be scary. But it'd be fun. But, I think that Volk does deserve a rematch against Topuria or Holloway, either one who wins. It's just, do you really want to see Holloway versus Volk 4?
No.
Not really.
I'd rather see
not
Max
now.
jump up and fight Islam.
After the Armin fight, maybe.
No, because then Chandler will.
Chandler's not getting a title fight.
Chandler's gonna fight Islam. He's the best fighter in the division.
Okay, he needs to make it through Oliveira first. That's first off. We don't know if that's gonna happen.
He knocks Oliveira out.
He didn't last time. He got knocked out last time.
He was dominating the first round.
Okay. Once that fight once that fight happens, then we will start talking about that. We will start adding whoever wins that into the conversation. But for right now, there's Arman versus Islam in January.
Yeah.
That's basically lined up. Arman versus Islam is going to main event in January. Whoever wins that, I think could either, if Islam wins, I think there's a shot for him to move up and fight. If Rachmanov beats Bilal, I think that Islam versus Rachmanov might be what they line up.
I'd like to see that.
I that's just what I think. I think that they line those two up if Rachmanov wins. If Bilal wins, Islam already said he doesn't want to fight Bilal. So I don't think he moves up. Mm-hmm. I think that he stays there, and then Ilia Topuria or Max moves up and fights Islam. Mm-hmm. I think that's likely if they don't go the Volk route for whoever wins this.
After Chandler.
No, Chandler's not getting a title fight.
You can't just say that.
I can just say that. Even if he beats Oliveira, I don't think that... I really think that they hold out for the Conor fight at that point, and they don't give him a title fight.
No, you can't hold out for the Conor fight because it's just that Chandler fights at such a high chance that there's such a chance for everything. Like, when you watch his fights, he's so explosive. He has pretty decent striking, and he has probably the second best wrestling out of everyone else in that division.
He also has a loss to Gaethje, a loss to Poirier, a loss to Oliveira.
Basically, only a loss to the best in the division.
Exactly.
And styles make fights.
Okay, but I'm saying that there are people that are more deserving of title opportunities than Michael Chandler, even if he beats Oliveira.
I mean, there's no logic behind it. It's more just like, we need this to happen.
I don't think we do. I don't think anyone is clamoring to see Chandler versus Islam.
They haven't been presented to the idea.
I would like that.
I think that if Chandler beats Oliveira, I think that they line up the Conor fight again with Chandler. I think that they
You
shoot
said
for
Conor's
it again.
retired.
It's never going to happen, though.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, I still think they're going to try.
Yeah.
I don't like, even if Conor never fights again, I still think they're going to line up fights for him and they're just going to all fall through at the last minute. But if he fights Hooker in February, then we're looking at your idea might be closer to happening.
I like that fight better, though.
If who
right?
fights Hooker?
Connor versus
Conor,
Hooker.
Really?
Dana, Connor, and Dan Hooker have all said they like the idea. Dana White, Dan Hooker, and Conor McGregor, and those are the only three people you need. And all three of them said they like the idea. Of course, it main events. It's Conor McGregor. It's a Conor McGregor fight. Conor McGregor's never going to fight under anyone ever.
You think like a main card? He's going to be a whole card and then Conor, or it's going to be like a Saturday?
No,
like
it's going to be a pay-per-view.
Oh wow!
Conor McGregor will only ever main event pay-per-views for the rest of his life. He will never accept a fight in a co-main event spot.
And
Never.
Hooker's been having a little resurgence, so
He has.
It
He's
makes
number
sense.
5 in the division right now. He's ranked over Chandler, actually, who beat him.
knocked him out.
Yeah,
good, too.
yeah.
That was insane.
It was
That was his debut, right?
Yeah, that was on Conor versus Poirier, the first pay-per-view we ever watched.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's wow.
it's
Full circle.
Full circle moment, but I don't know, man. I don't see. I think that Dan Hooker kind of got that though.
What do you mean? Like
The
with
fight
Conor?
against Connor.
That would be fun to watch, though.
It would be fun.
Who do you have winning?
I
if
think
that happens,
I think Hooker.
Yeah,
I think
Conor
Connor's
by
got that.
submission.
sub on Hooker.
Gamrot couldn't take Hooker down and submit him. You think Connor is?
Connor's a different beast. We're talking about the guy who
You're
fought
dumb,
Khabib.
bro.
Like, bro,
You're
his
such a casual.
His IQ is literally off the charts.
You're such a casual.
His IQ is off the chart. We're talking about Conor McGregor here. This man could do everything.
You're a casual. Casual or hold on. Casual. It just says casual.
that's
It's
just
the
foul.
same thing you did back. It's the same thing you did to me. You're a casual, bro. Conor McGregor is not going to submit Dan Hooker. That's not happening. It's not possible.
No way.
0% chance. Does Conor doesn't even have a sub in the UFC?
He does.
Who?
Max Holloway.
No, that was a decision win.
Oh, I thought you
It was
talking
on the
about-
ground. It was on the ground, but it was a decision win. You're thinking of Poirier submitting Max Holloway. He armbarred him in like his first ever UFC fight.
What?
Yeah. But all right. Yeah, I'm excited to watch this fight. Two favorite fighters going at it. Chimaev, I really like Chimaev. Whitaker, I really like Whitaker. Magomed Ankalaev, really like him. I just love this card. This is a great card. You guys got anything else you want to say?
I want to ask the viewers who they have in the main event. Who do you guys have, Holloway or Topuria?
Who we rocking with? I mean, I think most people are gonna say they want Holloway.
Yeah.
But like, give us who you want and give us who you think. Like, clarify who do you want, who do you think? Because I don't think we all think Holloway is gonna actually win.
That should be like a 50-50 split. A lot of people are gonna want one person, but they really think that another person's gonna win.
And we
I'd
need
love to
y'all
see
to
your
give
opinions.
the facts. John Jones is the GOAT.
Oh my God!
Let's keep it right there. John Jones is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. John Jones is the GOAT. You can't say he's not the GOAT.
Congratulations. It took you 39 minutes to bring up John Jones. I think that's the longest you've ever waited to bring up John Jones into a conversation.
We could go full detail into John Jones.
We
No.
can't forget about Pereira though.
my God.
Alex Pereira would knock out Tom Aspinall.
No, he wouldn't. Oh, I had something else I wanted to talk about before we leave. Francis Ngannou had a fight last week.
Oh,
and and I streamed it. I bought it.
You bought that stream.
I bought the pay-per-view. Yeah,
Support the
yeah.
So who did he win? I didn't see anything about it.
Yeah, he dominated. He beat a PFL tomato can, and now everyone's calling him the GOAT again.
Oh.
He beat a dude that's got like freaking like 7 wins and like 4 losses, and now everyone's saying that he's the GOAT again.
What do you think though?
He took the guy down and dominated him and knocked him out very easily.
NCAA
granted.
champion.
Over the temple.
Yeah.
Over the temple.
No, that's
Over
what I
the
was gonna
temple.
say. Yo, most of those punches were to the back of the head, and they didn't do anything.
No.
Like most of those punches were all
Same rules too, right? Like,
same rules. There's still you can't punch someone in the back of the head when they're on the ground. Every one of those strikes was to the back of his head, and the ref didn't do anything about it.
Come on.
It was an emotional fight.
It was also a late stoppage too. Like it should have probably been stopped before the punches to the back of the head.
Not to his fault. on
But
that,
like at the same time, if you're getting punched in the back of the head, like that's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's not the GOAT. He's not still a top tier heavyweight, like UFC level heavyweight.
yeah.
John Jones.
Maybe he could
would
knock
whoop Francis.
Yes, I agree. John Jones would whoop Francis.
He would whoop Francis. He would whoop Tom Aspinall.
No.
And he's gonna whoop Stipe.
Tom-
and he would whoop Alex Pereira.
And Tom Aspinall would beat Francis Ngannou right now. He's faster. He's got better knees.
oh no,
Francis
no, you're
Ngannou's-
crazy. No,
Why do you hate Tom Aspinall? He's literally
He's
knocked
just not-
everyone out in 1 minute or less.
I'm not buying his bluff.
He's knocked out everyone. There's no bluff. How do you
So was
bluff
Alex
knocking someone
Pereira.
out in a minute?
Alex Pereira knocks out.
No, he
everyone.
doesn't. Name one person he's knocked out in a minute. You can't. It hasn't happened. Every single
Sean Strickland.
that was like 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay, a minute more.
Okay, but I'm saying Tom Aspinall has an average fight time lower than Alex Pereira's like earliest stoppage.
He knocked Yeri out in like 3 seconds in a round.
That was in the second round.
The round just started.
That was in the second round. What I am saying is that Tom Aspinall has a shorter average fight time at like 2 minutes and 3 seconds than Alex Pereira's shortest fight.
He can't do that to Alex Pereira.
He can knock out anyone he puts his hand on. If
He's
Tom
not knocking
Aspinall,
out John Jones
if
or
Tom-
Stipe.
if Tom Aspinall connects with his right hand, you're going to bed. It's the Francis Ngannou effect. Those guys, if they touch you, you get knocked out.
So you're telling me Francis wouldn't touch Tom Aspinall?
No, because
What?
Tom Aspinall is faster, stronger, and younger. And Francis Ngannou is now like a 38-year-old man with terrible knees.
Listen. Tom Aspinall is like 6'4", 260. Francis is like 6'5", almost 6'6".
Nope, 6'4". He
Okay,
is actually.
6'4".
I think they build him at 6'3" during the fight. last
300 pounds pure muscle.
What is your point? That actually makes him slower.
Genetic freak. Think about how much more muscle he
makes him move slower.
He just
than
knocked
someone
the guy
with
out.
less
He
muscle.
just knocked the guy out.
Yeah, by taking him down and ground and pounding him because the
Exactly.
guy is a PFL tomato can who doesn't know how to
He
grapple.
got paid $2 million for that
He
fight.
he beat up a guy that wouldn't be ranked inside of the UFC.
It was an emotional fight.
Okay, that's fine. He shouted out his late son Kobe. That was all great. I respect him for doing that. I respect him for
With
for
the whole
fighting
hiatus,
for his son.
he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
He just beat one of the greatest boxers, knocked him down.
He lost to Tyson Fury. He did not win. He still lost. No matter what you think the fight went, it's still an L on his record.
I wish he won.
But what I am saying, I'm not saying anything about his son. I'm not saying anything about the stuff that he was fighting for. Purely just from him fighting, he is not the best heavyweight in the world anymore. He's slow. He's old. He's got bad knees. And Tom Aspinall would wipe the floor with him at this point. That's all I'm saying. Look at what Francis Ngannou.
Look at the facts.
Look at what Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane look like. Mm-hmm. Look at what John Jones versus Cyril Gane look like. Two very different fights, same person on the other side. And I know MMA math doesn't work like that, but still, Francis Ngannou is old and slow and got bad knees.
So you're saying that the way John Jones did Cyril Gane is how he would do Francis?
Yes. And Tom Aspinall would probably do the same thing.
So you're telling me there's no chance at all for John Jones to beat Tom Aspinall? There's nowhere in his game, in his undefeated career, where he can't beat John.
Every person has a chance at winning a fight. As long as you guys walk into the cage together, CM Punk could have beaten Kamaru Usman. It's possible. There's like a 1 in 20 million possibility, but CM Punk could have beaten Kamaru Usman if they were locked in a cage together. I'm saying it's more likely that Tom Aspinall would knock John Jones out in the first 2 minutes because that's all he's ever done.
CM Punk to Kamaru Usman? We're talking about the GOAT.
No, I'm just saying.
John Jones.
Yeah, I know. That's my comparison. I am saying that it's not possible at all for CM Punk to beat Kamaru Usman except for that 1% possibility.
You're saying it's 1%?
And no, I'm saying that there's more of a percent for John Jones to win. Yeah. But even if there wasn't, like, there's always a chance for someone to win, no matter who they are. A puncher's chance.
Yeah.
But John Jones more likely would get knocked out within 2 minutes by Tom Aspinall.
He's number 1 pound for pound. That's all.
He's not. He's number 3.
Should be number
he's
1
number 3 pound
he's
for pound.
He's more well-rounded than Islam.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He's the GOAT.
They have nearly equal grappling, and Islam's striking is better than John Jones's. So, no, they're not equally well-rounded. Islam is slightly more well-rounded.
15 title defenses.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see what Islam does. Islam could do that, too. We don't know because he just started doing it. He's already on 3 title defenses.
Nah. He won't get more than 5. Maybe 6.
Who's he going to lose to? Who's he going to lose to?
Age.
John Jones is like 37.
John Jones has been winning world championships since he was 23.
Okay.
So he's literally been fighting. How old are you right now?
22.
Literally, if he was to turn 23 next year, which he is, win a title, all the way until he's 37, you'd be champion. Bro, that's basically almost your whole life. You've been champion.
But the sport also evolves.
He's gonna retire. He should retire.
The guys that John Jones fought when he got into the UFC, very impressive. The best guys for his time.
Yeah.
Guys are better nowadays than they were back then. If John Jones was in the light heavyweight division now, honestly, I don't know. The light heavyweight division today kind of still sucks, or kind of sucks.
He was so dominant, right?
But the thing is, the sport still evolves. The guys that are fighting today are better than the guys that were fighting in 2010.
Who picked up the belt after John Jones left the division?
Jan Blachowicz. He knocked out Dominic Reyes.
Wow.
And then Glover beat him, and then Yuri beat him, and then Vacate, and then Hill, and then Vacate, and then Pereira, and still Pereira to this day.
It's a lot of hot potato. It's not consistent over there.
Exactly. And I mean, the light heavyweight division isn't that great. Like I said, it's consistent of like a bunch of level 7 strikers.
It's a sloppy division.
And like level 4 grapplers. Like there's one level 10 striker, and that's Alex Pereira. Ankalaev is like a level 8 striker and a level 8 grappler. He's probably the most well-rounded. And then you've just got a bunch of like level 7 strikers like Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska. Like these guys aren't like great strikers, like infinitely like Alex Pereira level. They're just like good strikers. They're like level 7. They could beat like level 5 strikers like fucking Dominic Reyes, but they can't beat someone better than them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are levels to the game. And light heavyweight, in general, just isn't that good. It's not that stacked.
No.
Most of the guys in there aren't very high level in anything.
I mean, it shows when you pass the belt from one guy to
Exactly.
another guy.
It means that anyone could beat anyone. They're all on the same level. There's
Yeah.
no like outliers. Because like in the lightweight division, that's so stacked, and you could tell. Like there are guys that have already run through everyone, but there's like 8 of them. There's like 8 guys who have run through everyone else. There's not just like 1 or 2 guys at the top of the division who are just like holding the entire division hostage.
Yeah.
Like there are like a good 8 people that have basically beaten everyone else in the entire lightweight division and are still in the top 8. So it's an exciting time to be an MMA fan because things are changing a lot right now. Like things have been very steady over the past couple of years. Things are changing a lot now in the UFC with Merab, Bilal, DDP, Pantoja. Like these guys aren't exactly the most popular guys, which means that there's going to be some guys coming up who are going to beat them and become huge stars.
Yep. It's exciting, man.
I'm in for it. Other than that, do you guys have anything you want to say before we sign off? We're at 50 minutes now, so if you want to say something quick before we go. Nope.
Go Holloway.
Go Holloway. I'm in. I love Holloway. Like, sub, share, comment. Yeah, do all of that. That's all great. That's all great stuff to support us in what we do. Go back and watch our last episode on Alex Pereira if you want to hear us argue about that.
The more you interact, the more you post videos.
Hell yeah. The more we get into it, too. I love... If you post in the comments, I will respond. It'll be me. It's not anyone else. So if you're arguing with someone in the comments, it's me.
I will read it.
He'll read it. Maybe he'll respond on his own account, but like if you're seeing a response from the hardcore and the casual, it's me. I'll respond to everyone if you comment. Everyone. Every response, like say anything, I'm never going to ignore you. I'm always going to come back with a response. Even if it gets really annoying and we go 27 back and forths, I'll keep going. I swear to God, I'll keep going. I love arguing. It's my favorite thing.
That's what you want.
So, thank you guys for watching the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. Thank you, Elijah, for coming on. Thank you, Matt, for coming on. Don't see you on here much, but I always appreciate it when you come.
Chain, man.
You want that chain, man. I want it too, so we're all coming for it. I've been your host, Justin. Stay tuned for our live reaction to UFC 308 coming next week, and peace out.
Off air.